Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the iBites podcast. I'm your host, Daniel, and with me, as always, my good friend, the Coach Beard to my Ted Lasso, Sajandeep. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. It's we're recording a little bit later. Trying to find some time is always a pain in the butt, I guess. It's always busy working and life.
Procrastinating sometimes,
That too, yeah. You see, you kind of have to be in the mood when you want to record, and I'm old, so I'm a bit lazy. Sorry. But what have you been up to, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Nah, it's good. Busy. Work, like you said,
Yeah.
work and work, I guess. I mean, summer's coming up.
Wow, that's a really interesting life. Work, and more work.
Yeah, more work. But I mean, summer's coming up, so spring.
Yeah, if the weather can ever change, though.
I mean, I love the weather, but at the same time, I hate the weather because this is the time that I get allergies because the pollen and the grass is growing and whatnot. Yeah. And I'm like, every other day, I'm like in bed sniffing. Like, I'm like, I hate this.
You mean having allergies on not sniffing like glue or anything like that? You mean? Not that we condone that at all, but
Yeah, not sniffing, but
sniffling.
Yeah, sniffling. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a bit different because sniffing and sniffling mean two different things.
Yeah.
But anyways, I do actually, I do have a bit of news that we mentioned last episode. I found out more. Well, actually, listening to the recent Apple Viz Unleashed and hearing that our good friend Randy is doing much better. Apparently, he started talking again. Awesome. So yeah, he's doing. I've been trying to reach out to him. I sent him a couple of messages, Goodwill messages. So he is doing pretty good, and hopefully soon we will have another episode of accessibility moving forward. Just. If you guys want to send messages of goodwill, get well, you can probably find them on Twitter or Mastodon. I think it's on Mastodon. I'm not sure. Or you can, let me know and send us an email at our email, ibitespodcast@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to forward that along to him. But yeah, glad to hear he's doing better. Randy, if you listen to this, get well soon. Can't wait to talk to you again, my friend. And so there's that. And other than that, nothing really new when it comes to buying stuff, because I've been trying to pay off existing things I bought, like this microphone, this SM7B, and the interface I bought, and paying that off slowly but surely. And unfortunately, when you're living on your own and you have a place of your own, life is expensive. So
yeah, it can be expensive, especially with this inflation, man.
That's crazy.
A lot of people, like where I live, a lot of people actually sold their houses because I guess they can't afford it anymore. It sucks because they bought this massive, larger house. Then went for a walk with my mom the other day, and we're looking around like, this house is on sale. This house is on sale. Yeah. This one's sold. My goodness. So
you had people. I know when I bought my condo, I had family members saying, "Oh, why'd you buy yourself a house?" I'm like, "Why? Like, condo's perfectly, like, I have a small apartment style condo and I love it. It's perfect. It's big enough for me. If I'm ever lucky enough to, be in a relationship with somebody, then, it's big enough for two people. But I don't need to buy a bigger house when it's just me. So, I like this little condo, but unfortunately, even groceries, man, groceries are expensive.
Oh my goodness.
And some of the stores, like, no offense, Loblaws, I don't shop there. I usually go to Walmart, but I've heard a lot of Loblaws, they kind of jack up the price on a lot of their stuff. Mm. And they're like, we're making record profits. I'm like, yeah, because you're jacking up the price way higher. But anyways, I digress. I don't want to go too much into this because this is a tech podcast. I swear. So the first, what's up?
By the way, I didn't buy anything either.
What? Are you sure? Like, actually, are you okay?
Let me rephrase. I did buy some stuff, but that was just for my bike. Like, I bought some accessories for my bike, like a side mirror. I noticed that because I bought a fat tire bike, that it's so much louder now when I'm going, and I can't hear cars going by me.
They call them fat bikes, I think.
Yeah, fat tire bikes, yeah.
No, they're just called fat bikes, not fat tires. Bikes? Just fat bikes. I think they're called. I got a couple of colleagues of mine who love their fat bikes.
The reviews and stuff I saw on this bike, they do say that you can take it out in the snow too. So that's good. I don't know if I will, but because I can't see the bike lanes will be covered, but I don't know. We'll see. But the nice thing is, like, I bought a side mirror, that way I can finally see if a car's coming not up to my tail anymore. I get to move to the side sooner enough, and bought a bike bag and stuff like that. But yeah, it's awesome.
What you need to do with your bike, get yourself a speaker, And whenever you're out and about, play the song "Born to Be Wild" by George Thorogood. I think it's George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and it's just a great classic song. Like, if ever those of you who might know, Married with Children. There was an episode with Al Bundy where I think we also mentioned this in the previous episode, but Kelly is the stunt driver with a motorcycle, and then Al decides her dad's like, I used to ride a bike when I was younger, and he gets on the bike and he imagines or fantasizes him driving on the highway with long hair and biker jacket and everything, and he's playing that song, and then when he actually decides to go out in real life with the bike, he gets into an accident. He's in a full body cast or something. It's like, oh my god, for him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you have to be very, very careful because sometimes drivers are. Yeah, that's what I'm like really, really scared of too. Like before I had that mirror, because I don't want to know, because I'm going on like these busy streets. Mm-hmm. Sometimes drivers can veer on the side if they're looking at their phone, because know these days, and I want to be careful that someone doesn't just take me from the back.
You want to be careful.
So yeah. Anyway.
But no, actually, there's also, I don't know if you've been watching a lot of Apple TV Plus.
No, actually, I'm going to get into that now.
Because I've been watching a lot of these shows that they've been pumping. They've been pumping out a lot of good stuff lately.
I'm so behind.
Well, there's like, there's like, probably not hundreds, but maybe like 20 or 30. Like they have like one I finished watching a while back ago called Extrapolations, which is pretty good. It was like, what could potentially happen in the near future if we don't, watch, our environmental footprint, if we're not careful in the overall planetary temperature increases, how can it affect the planet. There's also Ted Lasso, like I did the introduction. Ted Lasso season 3 is, I think, it's almost over in a few episodes, but that's actually really good. There's also the morning show that's coming apparently this summer, season 3. I also read.
I actually read today, 2 days ago. It was updated. It's coming in September now, fall.
Oh, September. Okay. Well, I also read today that apparently they already have a 4th season greenlit before they even aired the 3rd season. It's like, cool. All right, that looks good. There's also a good movie called Ghost. I think is it Ghost or Ghosted?
I think it was like Ghostbusters for a second.
No, I think it's called Ghost or Ghosted. But it came out a couple of weeks ago. It has Chris Evans, for those who might not know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He played Captain America. Also, if you look at the old, I think 1990s Fantastic Four, he played the Johnny Storm. But yeah, he plays in this like he's a average kind of farmer guy who meets a girl. He's like, falls in love, and then he finds out. He decides to do this big romantic gesture by following her to London, and he finds out she's actually a CIA agent. So it's like, what? And it's hilarious. I watched it. I was laughing. It was really good. But there's there's other stuff they came out with that's it's getting like, I usually, when something new comes out, I'll give at least 2-3 episodes, and if by the 3rd episode I'm not taken, I'm like, you know what? No, never mind. They got one which I actually did not know existed. I went back into the when you go open the TV app and you go to the originals tab. There's like, what came out recently, and there was one I watched. It was called Big Beasts. It's like a nature documentary about big animals. And it's narrated by Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki in the Marvel Cinematic Universe again. But it's actually really good. It's like talking about whales and the life of whales and these big giant octopus. And they had some bears and other different animals that what it's like to be like a prey or a predator, and how they survive. And it's actually really, and there's another one that kind of reminds me of that was called Prehistoric Planet. That's hosted or narrated by David Attenborough. And he's a well-known, I don't know what his title is, but he's well versed in the prehistoric world or nature. So Apple did this the first season, which was like, apparently visually it's gorgeous, and it was really interesting to learn more about the dinosaurs. But there's a 2nd season coming up this summer apparently, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, they're coming out with a lot of good stuff. I have to admit, man, I'm impressed at the stuff that they're coming out.
Oh yeah, they're pumping out.
The only problem is that there's so much good stuff that I'm watching everything, and I'm like, and the nice thing is they did split it. It used to be Fridays was whenever everything dropped, but now they kind of split it 50-50. So Wednesdays they have some shows, Fridays they have shows. Like right now, Ted Lasso's on Wednesdays. There's another one I've been watching called Schmigadoon, which is like a sort of it's kind of like Broadway musicals. and it's actually pretty funny. It's not that bad. Then they got another one, the Big Door Prize I've been watching, which is actually not bad. It's like this mysterious booth shows up, and people can put in personal information, which is kind of creepy. But it gives them like a card of here's your potential, and it's like everybody goes nut crazy about I'm meant to be a superstar, and they start changing their lives so that it reflects what their potential is. That one's been interesting. And then Friday, there's one I've been watching. It's The Last Thing You Told Me, or He Told Me, and it's with Jennifer Garner. It's actually really good. It's got a couple of well-known actors in it. I'm pleasantly impressed. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I've been watching it. I'm like, actually, this is not bad. So yeah, like I said, Apple TV has come out with a lot of good stuff. Definitely now I want to say it's comparable to Netflix. Like they have a lot of stuff that's available to stream, and it's really good. So, but anyways,
I can't wait.
You got a lot of catching up to do.
I know you talked a lot, but I'm just gonna say, I can't wait to get back in binge watching and stuff, because now it's the summer. I like to go outside after work and just go hang out outside and then ride a bike and go exploring and come back, and then I eat, and then it's time for bed. So.
Yeah, that's probably better than sitting at home and watching TV.
It's true, but
you don't want to be staying at home like a couch potato and just watch TV nonstop. For me, when the summer comes around, I'm out taking walks, but when it's raining or I'm not feeling well, I'll just sit back and either read a book or listen to TV shows. So
I should go back into that now. But anyway,
yeah. Anyways, moving on. Don't want to go too much into personal stuff, but so the first item you brought up something on the list, which I don't know what the heck it means. They're shutting down Apple's shutting down their online services. Can you explain this stuff? Because I'm not too sure what this is about.
So iOS 11 and Mac OS High Sierra is no longer going to be supporting or Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, Apple Music.
Okay.
Apple Music?
Yeah, also have iOS 11?
I saw an article from 9to5Mac about this, actually. So I got this from 9to5Mac, and they were mentioning it in one of their podcasts.
Okay.
And I saw read the article, and got this from them. So it's not it's not like official.
Okay.
But it was up there.
People are still running iOS 11?
Well, like the iPhone.
Wow.
I know the iPhone 6 runs actually iOS 12. So
Dang.
I guess iPhone 5S and lower.
Okay.
That's quite old devices too, but
if people are still running old devices, just beware. These services are going to be cutting.
I still have the Apple TV 3rd generation, and that has Apple TV Plus on it, and I think that's not going to longer support it anymore. Apple TV Plus.
I got rid of my Apple TV 3rd generation a long time ago.
I use that in the basement for mirroring my Fitness Plus onto it from my phone, but have one upstairs.
Okay.
But anyway.
Oh, well, fair warning. Letting everybody know. Check out 9to Mac and check this out. But it's to be expected. Older devices eventually, they kind of have to fade.
But I mean, it's the internet, though. Can't you just load it up from the browser?
Well, no, I'm guessing it's
the Apple TV Plus app is already on there. Why are they shutting that down? That's what I'm confused.
I don't know. Maybe it's just too much. I don't know. Maybe they have to. Well, eventually they do have to kind of cut support for really, really old devices. Like, nowadays, they go back. Like maybe I know Android provides updates for like 3 years, and that's it. And Apple at least provides updates for like 5-6 years or six versions behind, which is pretty good. But it sucks.
Lately, this stopped on the update is pushed out to the old iPhones, but they don't get every single feature because the operating or the chip can't support it. Like the what is it called? Our voiceover, the what we use here. What is it called again? It's the
what's that
for voiceover? If things are not labeled correctly, what's the thing called again? Voiceover?
I don't know. You mean like relabeling a button or?
No. The it's like screen recognition. My goodness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Screen. Yeah. So yeah, it's screen recognition. Like the iPhone 7 Plus, runs iOS 13, and iOS 13 was the first operating system that brought screen recognition, but because of the A10 Fusion chip.
You sure it was iOS 13 that brought screen recognition? I think it was iOS 14. Yeah, because I remember doing testing.
My bad. The iPhone 7 Plus does support iOS 15. My bad.
Okay.
So not 13, 15, and they brought it with 14, and that's when I think I upgraded to the 12 Pro Max, and I'm glad I did because I don't know why the iPhone 7 Plus can't support screen recognition. I guess because it's on-device intelligence.
Maybe it's the processor. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, because the iPhone 7 Plus does get warm already, quite a bit warm. I noticed, but anyway.
Oh, well, just fair warning. Just let people know. So another item you added was, can you survive without your phone for, is it a couple of days or a few days?
Yeah, for like a week, I want to say, because I was listening to Double Tap Canada and Sean Priest.
Sean Priest, yeah. Or you have Stephen Scott or Sean Priest.
Okay, I thought I missed the last names together. Anyway, no, that's good. Yeah. Stephen Scott and Sean Priest, they were talking about, and Stephen was asking Sean if he could live, without your phone for a week or a day. Like let's say you left your phone behind and you were going to work. Will you turn back if you're like halfway to work? Will you turn back around and grab your phone and come back?
Well, good question. For me, if I'm halfway to work and I left my phone behind, which is very rare, but if that were to happen, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to live without my phone for today because I'm not going back because it's I can't really go back with the bus. It'd be too much of a pain in the butt. But that's a good question. Like for you, what would you do if you would you be able to survive without your phone for a week?
For a week? It's hard, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard. If I just had, I mean, I can
hear the gears turning in your head right now.
Yeah,
like should I?
They are. What should I say? Yeah, but like it's interesting because like what do I do? Like I don't really talk to friends on the phone or watch YouTube videos and learn things from there and pass time, which I could pass. I could go ride my bike for all day long and just come back home and go to sleep. I'll be fine. But I don't know. I haven't tried it.
I'm kind of wondering because for a sighted person, it might be a little bit more easier. But for me, I see like smartphones as such a essential tool for a blind person that to not live with it. Like, I guess the more fair question I would say is that when you use your phone daily, how glued to it are you? Like, if a notification comes in, you automatically grab your phone and check it right away, or do you like, I'll check it later?
See, with the Apple Watch, it's just a simple, it's a little easier. But when I didn't have my Apple Watch, no, I didn't run to my phone every single notification. Because I got a lot from Twitter, and I always came back to at least 20, 30 notifications. But
see, that's the healthy thing.
But because I have like, if I had my, now that I have a Apple Watch, I kind of have my phone on mute all the time on vibrate. But before I actually had it on ringer, and if like someone texts me and stuff and it's a different ringtone instead of the default sound that from Twitter you get, I would go to my phone just to see who it is. If it's a person, like someone's texting me. But if it's just a regular notification from like Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, then I don't care.
Okay. I know for me, like, I'm with you. Like, I have the watch now. I've had it for quite a while now. And I kind of tweaked the notifications to a point where not everything goes to the watch. And the nice thing is I have a Gmail account and I actually turned off the notifications for the stock mail app, and I have the Gmail app. And when notifications come in, the Gmail goes to the watch and I can look, what's the email? Okay, it's not good. Trash it. And I trash it right away. And I kind of like that because it gives me a chance to, this is an important email. I'll let it go through and I'll check it later in the stock mail app. Or if it's important, if it's an urgent, I can, this is an urgent one. Let me open my phone now and take a look at it. But if it's like, it's not that urgent, I can wait on it later. I'll just dismiss the notification and I'll check it later. And if it's a crappy email, then I can just click trash right away and it goes straight to the trash and it won't show up on the mail, the stock mail app. But yeah, I could be going somewhere and put the phone aside if I go to my brother's or my sister's, like I can put my phone on the coffee table, leave it there, and go around the house. And if notification comes in, I'll check my watch. But that's it. Like I'll do more. The watch is more for triage. Like I'll get a notification. Oh, is this important? Nah, no, I can wait till later. Or,
That's what it is. It's a glanceable item. What's a watch? You look at it, you glance at it, and you check the time, and you leave it, right? But like replying to a message on the watch, just for like a one message on the watch, you're not gonna have a back-to-back conversation on the watch all the time. That's not the watch is made for. It's for glanceable items. Oh, checking your heart rate for a little bit. Okay, cool. Or if your heart rate goes up and your watch alerts you, okay, you know about it, you go fix yourself with water or whatever. I don't know. It's a glanceable item. It's not a thing that you sit on there and play games, because I know that there's some Apple Watch games and whatnot on this thing.
Well, there's people that go on their phones and their watches and spend like nonstop. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I remember hearing something that apparently in Australia a town had redone their sidewalks to include lights in the sidewalk. So when you get to a down curve, most people are on their phones and looking down and don't look up to see the lights changing. So they put some of the lights in the sidewalk. So as you're walking and looking down, you can see the lights changing on the at your feet. So oh, it's a red light. I have to stop. And I'm like, really? Like,
okay, this is nothing. There was a developer who made a keyboard, a third-party keyboard so it's a see-through keyboard where it would use your iPhone's back camera to let you know if there's... So you can, as you're typing, you can still see where you're walking.
Oh, my goodness. Jeez. See? So... to me, I see this as... the iPhones, yeah, it's a great thing, but I'm thinking of a old phrase. No, it's an old... wise thing I heard. Believe it or not, it's from Marvel. There was an old saying I heard from Spider-Man. With great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yep.
And to me, I know that it's kind of corny using a comic book hero as an example, but to me, it's like I look at that and I'm like, you know what? With anything that you have in your life, it's like you have to use it responsibly. When it comes to using your phone, or if you are the kind of person that has like having maybe a bit of alcohol, like a glass of wine or a beer, or other recreational consumables or anything in life, like it's like you have to be responsible and not overdo it. If you overdo it, then it turns into an addiction, or it turns into something not good. So anything in your life, you use it you try to use it responsibly, and especially with a phone, like look up. Like it's a phone. Look up, man.
We're kind of lucky because we use VoiceOver and we can always look up. At least I can.
We don't have to look at the screen. We can just swipe and still look up. Although even if we look up, we can't see anything anyways. But it's just, I don't know. To me,
if you're low vision anyway.
Low vision is different. Yeah, but to me, it's like, I don't know, using. I love using my phone. It's a great tool. I use it for everything, and I couldn't imagine my life without one. Don't get me wrong. I was younger. I didn't have a phone. I survived without a phone. But times they are changing, and
I got my first phone when I was actually 16, grade 10.
Oh, jeez. See, I got my first phone like 13 years ago. That was my first smartphone I ever got. Before that, I was always flip phones. But my first smartphone was the 4S. That was the first one I ever got.
First phone. How old were you when you first had a phone?
Phone? Are you talking about like landline at home, or?
No. Cell phone.
Cell phone, I was probably in college. So you're probably looking at close to 23 years ago. It was like an old Nokia. I don't remember it was like, it had like a green monochrome screen. It had like your numpad, and it was a nice phone. The one I had, you could actually change the faceplate on it, and I got this bright yellow faceplate. Will look like crap, but
banana phone.
I swapped it with a black one. I like black, but yeah, no, it's. I'd be curious to know what people think about their iPhones, if they can survive without it for a day, or are they the kind of people that notification comes in, they have to check their phone right away. Or
obviously, if you run your business off of it, then it's
different. If it's a business, then you're relying during work hours. Your phone is your livelihood, but like anything else, use it wisely. Don't overdo it, But
look at your. I will encourage you to guys look at your screen time if you have that enabled.
I turned that off. I don't want to know.
You turned it off.
See, I use my phone a lot, but it's not for like Facebook or Twitter. I mainly use it for listening to content. Like I read my books off of it, podcast. I like watching. There's certain shows. I have a not ton, but I have maybe about 8 or 9 shows I usually watch on a weekly basis. Watch on a weekly basis. And I have different apps, like, the channels have their own apps. So I'm able to stream those episodes from there. I use Disney Plus or Apple TV. So I stream everything from my phone because
people who are creators, they use a lot more social media stuff, right?
Yeah.
For me, I constantly upload on it.
I barely use social media. Like I have it. That's why I cleaned it out and only have a couple. But for me, it's like it's there. I use it when I need to. But for the most part, I don't want to spend my hours on Facebook or Twitter. And again, it's like, look up and the world's out is in front of you. Just enjoy the world around you instead of having your eyes glued to your phone. Anyways, so moving on. So sound recognition is now on HomePods.
That's pretty cool.
So I heard about this I'm the one that added this. So I heard from the AppleViz podcast. Thomas Donville did a podcast about this, and basically, I think for now it's only for like smoke alarms. I set it up with one of my speakers to check it out. I don't rarely have my smoke detector goes off. It's very rare, but I figured if ever I'm out of the house and fire takes place, I'd like to be notified. So I turned it on. I did listen to Thomas's demo, and it looked pretty cool. It looked pretty nice. I don't know. Have you listened to it or?
No, actually, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on how it works and stuff.
Okay.
But just because, let you know, the HomePod doesn't have a smoke detector built into it. It's the one that you have to have your own smoke detector.
Yeah, it does listen
microphones to hear that, and then it will push the notification to you.
The nice thing is you got to go in the Home app and you can turn it on, but you can actually select which HomePod can listen. It has to listen to it because I think it does the microphone is always kind of listening. And so I've only have one out of the 4 HomePods listening to it. The rest are like, no, don't need to.
I hope it's not your bedroom one.
No. The bedroom. No, though it's the one in the
snoring across the night.
No. It's the one in the living room. But yeah, you got to select which HomePod listens, and then you got to select who can get the notifications. And I'll see what it's like and see if it's worth it. If not, then I might turn it off. But for now, I'll leave it on. But just anybody that has a HomePod, and this is for any of the HomePods, the original, the old big one, the new.
Wait, I don't think the original supports it.
Yes, it does.
It does?
Yes. From what I heard, and I've been able to set it up, you can, any HomePod you have, whether it's the original big one, the new big one, or the new, the HomePod minis, they support sound recognition. It's just the newer ones support the temperatures. They have the temperature sensors. The old one don't. But the sound recognition is available on all the HomePods.
Okay.
So
awesome. Good to know.
Just anybody want to check it out? You can check out Thomas's Donville podcast that he did for AppleViz on how to set it up, and he did a demo of it, which is really good. So I suggest people check that out. But yeah, definitely worth looking. If you have a HomePod, check it out. But
WWDC 2023 is announced. It's in March.
Yeah, good segue. Yeah, apparently from what I heard, June 5th. So yeah, WWDC, for those wondering, it is the World Wide Web Developer Conference. It's Apple's big thing that they usually talk about the different OSs. So they'll mention what's coming up with iOS, iPad OS, all the OSs.
Mac OS, Watch OS, TV
pretty much whatever software. It's like, here's what's coming in the new versions. Sometimes they may make announcements on hardware. Apparently, the rumor is the reality headset's going to be maybe talked about. I don't know. Yep. I'm hoping it'd be kind of nice if they did. Yeah, I don't plan on buying it. I can't afford that stuff, so it's like I'm poor, so I can't afford, because I think it's gonna be like what, 4 or 5, if not more, $1,000.
Canada, Canadian will be like $4 grand.
Well, if you're looking on the HomePod, the AirPods Max are like $550 American, and with Canadian exchange, it's like $790 or $780. It's like that's a lot of money. But yeah, so these headsets probably gonna be not cheap. So
nope.
Are you gonna tune in for WWDC?
Yeah, I'll check it out, depending on my work and how busy it is. And
with work, you can't stream that during your work hours now.
No, before I could go from school. I know I mentioned from school I would go.
First episode, you said you would skip class just to listen to Dub. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm not the only one, though. I'm glad I'm not the only one. There's so many people out there who did that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
See, you should do what I do. So what for me, I don't stream it. It's like I don't want.
I don't know. I love looking at the new animations they do with the drone shots, and it's
Okay.
fun watching it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just love hearing Craig with his jokes and whatnot up there.
Well, because you can see it, so
I think he does a good job.
if you can watch it, if you have vision or low vision or enough vision, like check it out. Definitely. For me, I can't see nothing, so I just wait and listen to all the podcasts. Because the problem is, I limit which podcast I listen to that has an episode on Dub because there's so many podcasts that cover WWDC that by the time you get to the 7th podcast that talks about it, you're kind of tired to hear about it.
Yeah, it's the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. And for me, I always have a couple. So for me, I always listen to Mac Break Weekly. They do a good coverage on it, but they'll do like a commentary on the event. I don't listen to that. It's only afterwards once they have the Mac Break Weekly with Alex Lindsay, Leo Laporte, Andy Anatko, and then they have Jason Snell. When they do an episode of Mac Break Weekly and talk about Dub, that's when I'm gonna. Yeah,
I may do a solo episode on it.
No, okay. Well, we always do an episode on the podcast on that too. It's that's something else we can do. We'll see. And I'll have to listen to it and see what they talk about before we record. But
Definitely.
but yeah, it's her time to shine. So yeah, it's June 5th. So if anybody wants to listen to it, you can live stream it. I'm sure you can watch it on the Apple TV, or I'm sure there'll be like hundreds of podcasts that's going to talk about it, so you can pick and choose which one you want to listen to. But what do you think they're going to announce besides software? Do you think they're going to announce any hardware?
The Reality OS or the AR glasses, not the glasses, but the goggles or whatever it's called, the headset.
Yeah.
I was looking into it. You know how you have the crown, the digital crown on the watch, and the AirPods Max? I think there was a rumor where you could like turn that on, like rotate that, and it will use your cameras on it, and you can see the world, and you can like rotate it back to like make it all black and just see so you can go to like virtual reality and augmented reality with turning it into that.
I didn't think this was going to be VR. I thought this goggles was going to be like more like AR.
More AR, but reality. You can like turn it into like close the front of it, and you can be in your own virtual world.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't wait for the AR glasses though. Like that's something that because I think because I honestly think with whatever Apple's doing with voiceover and accessibility, I think they will like make this something really, really fun and awesome and it will change how people live their lives. I mean, it's going to be expensive, that's for sure. But if they can afford it, but
it's well, if anybody wants to check it out, or if Apple wants to send us a free AR goggles, we'll be glad to check it out for them and test it. I doubt they'll ever listen to this, but it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it's I look forward to watching it. It's gonna be fun. I don't think they're gonna have any other hardware. I heard maybe some AirPods Max 2nd gen, which I hope not, because I want to enjoy mine for as long as I can before there's a new version out. But no, should be fun. All right, so moving on. Something else. I actually added this. I've been hearing. So you got me into this podcast with the Sam Cole and John Prosser, which I occasionally will listen to because John Prosser is a acquired taste. Sometimes he's a little bit too extreme, and so is Sam Cole. But I listened to the Front Page Tech, his YouTube channel. And there were rumors with the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max that they were going to have capacitive buttons. And apparently that's not happening anymore. So I was like, I'm kind of grateful because I'm like, I don't know what I think about capacitive buttons. Because for me, I don't know. I like the physical buttons to me. For those wondering, like, for example, if you look at the iPhone 7 or the iPhone 8, the home button, that's capacitive. Like there's no moving parts. It just has a haptic engine that simulates you pressing the button. So that's what they were talking about having for the power, the volume, and
I do kind of like one thing about that it will like make it more water resistant, but a little bit because the buttons.
Yeah, would you go swimming with your phone, or do you go shower with your phone? Like, like I get having a water resistance, but you can also just get a water sealed case if you want to take photos underwater. I don't go in water with it. Like it's water resistant enough that if it's raining, I can still use it a bit and not have to worry about it. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a cool concept. I do like that idea, but I don't know. It's either way, whatever happens.
Your more battery though, because it's like constantly like, using the vibration motor.
Yeah, that's true. I might be using the battery more. So that's why I'm glad when they said, "Oh yeah, we're not having capacitive touch."
Because I know with iOS 16 when they brought in a haptic keyboard, which I have on,
yeah,
I kind of love that thing, but Apple did mention that it will drain your battery a little bit more.
Well, because like I said, that haptic engine's always going on. It's always vibrating. So it's a physical thing vibrating. It does use a bit more juice. So, but no, I don't know. I know I'm probably planning on buying an iPhone 15 Pro this year because I have an old 11 and it's starting to show its age. And I did promise it to my niece. I said, I'm going to give it to you. She's like, oh, great. So the only thing you have to replace the battery because I'm not paying for the battery. I'm cheap that way. But for me, because the phone is something I use like for everything, whether it be GPS, phone, if I'm in an emergency, I need a phone. I use it for that. I use it for a lot of stuff. So for me, after 4 or 5 years, I'm like, okay, it's due to upgrade. So plus, I'm looking forward to being able to get my hands on LiDAR. I know it's like it sounds great, but for people who already have it, it's like it's nothing fancy. So, but I'm looking forward to playing with that. So, but
that'll be awesome, man. Another thing, Voice Dream.
Yeah, so we heard about this a couple of weeks, a week or two ago, and so I think you already bought this app before, right?
Voice Dream Reader.
Yeah.
So
for those wondering, Voice Dream Reader is an app that's been around for a while. Basically, what it does is you can import. You can import any kind of file. Sorry, I'm doing my Elmer Fudd impression. But you can import any type of file in here. I think it's any text files. You can have EPUBs, you can have PDF, Word documents, and the app has screen TTS engines that you can use to read all these documents. So instead of having to read it or use VoiceOver, you can basically select a file and have it read out loud, like it's almost like a recording or something.
It was a $25 app, right?
I don't remember when
I bought the whole. I think it was called the Voice Pack.
You had the Voice Dream package. We had Voice Dream Reader, Voice Dream Writer, and something else. I don't remember what.
It was Voice Pack.
Yeah, but there was like Voice Dream Reader, Voice Dream Writer, and there's another app that was part of that pack as well.
Scanner.
Actually,
Scanner came out after.
Yeah, it came out after.
I bought it separately, but then they added it to the bundle afterwards.
Okay. But yeah, so I bought it myself back, and I honestly don't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was like $20 or $30. I don't know. It wasn't that big. And I thought I'll give it a shot. I don't mind supporting developers who take the time to make their stuff accessible. So what happened is they decided, from what I heard, apparently it's a company that bought them and decided to change it from a one-time purchase to a subscription-based model. And so from what I read, apparently it's going to be for anybody who bought the app already before this change, you're good. You're grandfathered in. You won't have to pay a subscription for it. Kind of like Weather Gods. When Weather Gods came out, I bought it, and then they switched to a subscription based for more advanced features. You can pay for a premium subscription, but those who had bought it before were automatically included in the premium subscription. You didn't have to pay for it. So Voice Dream Reader is going to be apparently the same. I opened it up and I didn't see any. You're paying for it. Like it seemed it was working as is, as it always did. So I'm assuming that's good.
I wonder what happens if you delete the app accidentally. Or
no, it should be fine because it's in your purchase history.
I guess.
Yeah, because you can go back to your purchase history and re-download it for free. Like you don't have to pay it again.
But I mean, the app is free now. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the app is free. But the thing is, you already bought it. So once you buy it, Apple in your Apple ID, you have a section. If you go to the Apple Store, I think if you go in your account, you can go to purchases and you can see all the app you ever bought. So once you bought it, it's in your history and you don't have to pay for it ever again because you can just go back to the purchase history. Or if you go to the App Store and you search for it again, when you go to the button where it says get or usually has the price, it'll just say re-download because it remembers that you bought it already. It's in your history, so you don't have to worry about buying it again. So basically what they did is the one-time payment apparently is not enough to sustain development of the app, which I can understand. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money to develop and keep an app up to date, and update it for like new features or for patches or whatever. So it takes a lot of work and money. And you look at it, it's $60 American per year. But that, you divide that by 12, it's not so bad. It's like $5 or $6 a month, which okay, I've paid subscription, which were more than that. But I decided, well, let me go on my work phone and search for Voice Dream Reader and see what the Canadian price is. So I downloaded it on my phone, I opened it up, and the subscription for Canadians is $80, not $60.
Oh my goodness.
Because I thought, well, 60, that's a lot. I was like, that's not so bad. So when I opened it, I'm like, $80? I'm like, oh, 60 was for US, 80 is for Canadian. I'm like, that is a lot. I'm like, okay, I get it. Unfortunately, they can't just have a one-time purchase and that's it. Like they have to be able to sustain the app. So the subscriptions can kind of make sense. And Voice Dream Reader is a great app. I know a lot of people who love using it. I personally don't use it as much. I haven't really found a way of inserting that into my workflow. But for the most part, I do. I'm glad it's there. If I need it, it's there. It's just that now for people who want to buy it now, who haven't bought it before, well, now it's going to be free, but you have to use a subscription to use it.
Yeah, so I actually was listening to Double Tap Canada, and I think a while ago they had the developer the creator of the app on there, right? And he was mentioning how when I'm gone, no one knows how I developed, or no one knows the code, right? So when I'm gone, someone has to continue this for the updates and whatnot, and I'll keep it updated. So they have to get paid somehow. So that's why one of the another reasons why they had to.
But there's been a lot of people who have been like, "Oh, how could you dare do this?" And other people are like, "Oh, I understand." So for me, I'm on both sides. I understand why people can be frustrated about this, but I also understand why the developer decided to charge a subscription. When you look at it, it's like $6-7 a month. It's like, you buy a coffee nowadays at Tim Hortons or Starbucks, and coffee costs almost as much. Well, maybe not Tim Hortons. I think Tim is like a cup $2-3 for a coffee. But Starbucks, definitely Starbucks, it's like $8-9 for a cup of coffee. So just skip a coffee for one day and you'll be able to afford it. And I understand some blind people, unfortunately, don't have a lot of income, so it's very limited. Unfortunately, it is what it is now. Subscriptions seems to be the motto now. A lot of people are going that way. But yeah, it's I don't know. Can't really say anything much about it. It is what it is.
So you want to talk about Windows 11?
Yeah. So I brought this up because I'm like, most people might know, I went from Windows to Mac, and I love my Mac.
Mac to Windows.
Hold on, let me finish. Okay.
Okay.
I had a Windows machine before, a long time ago. About 5-6 years ago, I decided to take the plunge and buy a Mac. And I loved it for what it was. I wasn't crazy about the keyboard. I had the 2017 MacBook Air. I knew when I bought it about the keyboard. I have an external keyboard that was plugged into it. So I was using the external keyboard. I always use the MX keys, which I love this keyboard. So I was using that keyboard with my Mac. It was great. And I accepted the fact that the butterfly keys on the MacBook Pro kind of sucked. And I could kind of get along with the keyboard fine. But if I really want to do a lot more heavy work, I plugged in my keyboard on my external keyboard and use that instead. And there were good things about it and bad things about it. Like, I do like the fact that you have everything in one place for updates for drivers and stuff like that. A lot of iMessage, make phone calls, all that stuff. It was great that you had all that continuity. It was great. But I found myself that using VoiceOver on the Mac, it was, I call it.
There's a lot of keys here.
Well, I call it finger gymnastics. You have to press like 3-4 keys to go left, right, interact, uninteract. And for me, it's just, I found myself, I was way more productive on the Windows laptop. So I sold my old Mac and I decided to go back and buy myself a Windows laptop. And this time, I prefer Windows 10, to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about Windows 11, but when I bought my laptop, Windows 11 was the only option I had to choose from. So I selected Windows 11. And one thing that I was looking forward to was, in Windows, you have what's called a phone link app. And for a while, the only you could basically what you do is you select. I think right now it's only Android. You select the Android option, it gives you a barcode. Then you scan your phone with the barcode, and then what it does, it links your phone to your computer. So all your notifications, your phone calls, you can will go to your computer. So you can receive messages, notifications. I think you can respond to text messages or one-on-one messages you can respond to. You can receive and make phone calls through Android as well once you set it up. But one thing that was always lacking is no iOS support. And I think the last episode we mentioned that, yeah, it is coming. iOS support is coming on Windows 11. Only Windows 11, though. Windows 10, it's still Android, but Windows 11, they're going to add iOS support. And I read this week that it's coming by middle of May or end of May. I looked at mine on my laptop, and I opened up the phone link app, and it shows Android, but it also says iOS coming soon. So I'm like, okay, so it's a matter of time now. Hopefully by the end of May, it'll be here, and I will definitely be setting up my phone and seeing how well that works. And it's going to be limited from what I hear, but hey, it's going to be somewhat similar to what you have with the Mac. Not quite the same, but it's going to be a little bit there.
My question is, do you have to link it every time you turn on your computer?
No, from my understanding, you just set it up once and that's it.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what the process. I know that the Double Tap that talked about it this week, and Sean he's part of the beta, and he set it up, and it was kind of wonky. So I'm like, I really hope they fix it.
Well, it's still in beta, so
yeah, hopefully they'll fix it. But for those of you using Windows 11 and an iPhone, keep your eyes open.
Be excited. Be excited.
Eventually, that will show up, and that'll be great.
Yeah.
So next up, this is something that. Yeah, this is something that a friend of ours actually posted on our group chat on WhatsApp. And I looked at this and I was like, this is bloody amazing. So Microsoft has been doing a lot of strides with accessibility, not only on the Windows side, but also on the Xbox side. So I believe Xbox has you can use Narrator, which is the Microsoft built-in screen reader, and it's also available on the Xbox. So you can interact with the UI, you can navigate the menus, you can do all that, no problem. The only issue you always had is that the games are not necessarily accessible. PlayStation has started with this a couple of years back with The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dogs, which is a company, and I swear, yes, this is the name of the company, Naughty Dogs. They made The Last of Us Part 2 game fully accessible for people with disabilities, which is awesome. And I think they even went back and made The Last of Us, the first one, fully accessible as well. So when we heard this many years ago, that great, some of the mainstream developers are making their mainstream games accessible for us. But I never saw anything on the Xbox. I think the closest I ever saw was Madden NFL that did some changes to sounds and stuff like that would allow you to be able to play games. I'm not sure if they were able to, I could be wrong. I'm assuming that if they made Madden playable for the blind, that the menu system in the game is accessible, that you can go in the menus, you can select the game, and you can start playing. But what this video showed was another game that when I had my vision, I had an Xbox. I love playing this console. It was my baby. And I had the choice between going the PC gaming route or the console gaming route. And I know a lot of people who are hardcore PC gamers. Nothing wrong with that. If I had a gaming laptop, which I actually do now, if I had my vision, I probably would go, get a Steam account and play some PC games. But at that time, I couldn't afford to buy a gaming laptop, and I went, I'm going to go for the console. So I bought an Xbox. I had lots of fun playing games like Call of Duty. Gears of War was one of my favorites. I love the story and the score, and the graphics were freaking amazing. Also had the Batman Arkham Asylum games, Fallout. I always had an NHL game because my grandmother was a big hockey fan. But one other game I played was called Forza Motorsport. And I used to love that. It was a fun, I wasn't a big racer, but for me, I couldn't legally drive. So that was my way of driving, real life cars for fun. And it was so going back to the link that our friend shared. So apparently Forza Motorsport, or I think it's Forza Horizon 5, has made the game fully accessible for the blind. So this video, if you look on YouTube, you look for Xbox Forza Motorsport, I think they call it Blind Driving Assist. There's a blind gentleman consultant who worked with them to provide feedback on different audio cues and different things that can help him be able to read the map, the track, and how to properly drive and curves and stuff like that. So when I lost my vision, I wanted to buy an Xbox, but I wasn't going to buy just a console just to have the console. When I saw this, I'm like, you know what? Now I'm tempted to go and buy an Xbox just to play this game, because there was never a game we could play. It was like the only thing that was accessible was a console. But now, hey, we have a game that I used to play that is accessible. I'm like, damn, now I kind of want to go buy one now.
Definitely.
But now the problem is the console's like $700. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I know, it's expensive.
They're not cheap, but anyway. So maybe down the road I may or may not, depends. Not now. Maybe next year I might look at getting an Xbox. We'll see. But yeah, so anybody who has an Xbox who has Forza Horizon 5, you can now play with. I think there's in the settings you have to go and tweak, change a few settings. But yeah, there is some audio guidance for blind drivers now. You can play that now. So I'd be curious. Any of you out there who listen to this, please, let us know through Twitter. Email us at ibytespodcast@gmail.com. Check us up on Twitter at ibytespodcast. Let us know. I'd be curious to know if anybody out there who has played this and who has tested out this. I don't know if it's even available yet.
No, I don't know. I think it's still in. No, I think it's still in.
Okay, maybe okay.
I think they're talking about it. But I was gonna say that this is from Microsoft, so PlayStation users don't have.
Yeah, sadly,
it kind of sucks.
Yes.
Well, I'm a PlayStation user, but I was looking at it. There's another game. I don't remember the game, but I don't think it's accessible though on PlayStation. But I know that the PlayStation has a haptic, like the Taptic engine, like the same thing on the iPhone. And it's more like pronounced, and you can feel where things are. Imagine if you're holding the controller and you get to like feel the bump on the left hand side of the controller versus the right hand side of the controller, so you'll know where the wall is. That'll be pretty cool.
There's definitely ways to make, provide feedback, whether it be haptic or audio feedback, to help. Like I said, even if it's a game you think, there's no way in heck that we can have a blind person play this. You'd be surprised. Sometimes I never thought you can get a racing game made accessible, but hey. Look at now. They made Forza Horizon accessible. I'm looking forward to seeing when this is going to be released. If anybody ever has a chance to play this and wants to let us know, hey, let us know. It'd be great, because I'd be curious to know. Because what I'm curious to know is the menu system. I'm assuming the menu system must be accessible. And once you load the game and you go in, you select a track, I'm sure that is all fully accessible. I'm guessing it's using the built-in screen reader on the narrator that's part of the console. But if anybody ever has a chance down the road to play this, let me know. I'd be curious, because I definitely would like to maybe get one day and play it.
So I like another company. DJI makes some cool gear for like microphones, drones, and whatnot for creators. And I have their drone, and they recently released a DJI Mavic 3 Pro, and that thing has 3 cameras on the front. It's like an alien from the front. It's pretty cool. A flying alien or something. I don't know. But no, it's pretty cool. Like I do want it. I really want to buy it.
You always want to buy everything.
It's like $4,000 here.
Oh my!
It is so expensive. But I do have the DJI Air 2S, and it's fine for what I do. But I love the fact that you can like zoom in a lot and stuff without like taking your drone too close to a tree or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of in. I kind of want it, but I'm not going to buy it because it's, first of all, it's way over to my price, and I'm not going to use it as much. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If I was going to be using it a lot more,
what you have now, you can definitely use it right now. And if it does a job, why go buy something more expensive just because?
The nice thing with the removable batteries are, if the battery dies, I can just buy new batteries, and the drone is still fine until I don't crash it though. So it's fine if I, as soon as I crash that thing, then it's gone. I mean, I do have their DJI warranty thing for 2 years. I can have 2 crashes, and they will send me a new drone.
See, when I was putting this in the show notes, I thought it was DJI Maverick, because I was like, oh, this is definitely a misspelling. So I was changing it to Maverick. But I'm like, well, let me Google this first, because I don't know. I don't think that you would make a mistake in the writing, although I've been proven wrong. But I looked at me, sure enough, it is definitely DJI Mavic, not Maverick.
They changed the name. I think they used to be Maverick.
I can always thought it was that, but I could be wrong. I don't really use drones that much. I don't know. Maybe I'm full of crap. I don't know. But that's great.
The nice thing, and another reason that why I wanted it was because it has side sensors. Mine doesn't have side sensors, so it's only on the front and the back. So if you're like trying to do like circular motions and stuff, I had to be very careful with that one because if I do those kind of tricks, because there's no side sensors, I can hit something and boom, gone. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. So.
Okay.
Any drone fans? I don't know, but
see, we try to keep this podcast, covering a wide range of different products, not just Apple. Some of us are Apple fanatics, but I'm well.
So that's why I brought different things up. I know
that's good.
It's also tech related.
Yeah.
But I know. Apple does store like DJI products at their store. I've seen a lot of drones and whatnot from there.
Okay.
So they do a lot of similar things. Like you have Apple Care Plus, and you have DJI Care Plus as
cool.
well. So,
well, all right. Next up on the list. So,
Snapchat.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about OpenAI's ChatGPT, and a lot of apps are getting on the bandwagon. So you mentioned this. Snapchat is now integrating ChatGPT in their app. How? Because I don't use Snapchat, so. Please tell me how they did this.
What it is, I'm going to just open it because I can't remember the name of it now. But what they did was, it says My AI. So when you go to the chat section of the Snapchat, at the top, it lives right at the top now. And apparently you can pay monthly to remove it, so it's somewhere else. I don't know where exactly. I haven't done it.
So you pay them to take the AI off.
No, it doesn't take it off. It just puts it away from the top of the list of the chat.
Okay.
So instead of living at the top, which kind of makes sense. Why not just leave it at the top because it's easy to access? Yeah. So, but anyway, you can chat with AI, and it would, because by the way, there are so many apps out there on the App Store for ChatGPT, and they charge weekly. They charge weekly, and please do not don't, because ChatGPT is free. The ChatGPT 4 isn't free, but the other one, the first one that came out, that one is free. And the Snapchat actually added that one into Snapchat, so that way you can chat back and forth and actually have a conversation without actually going to a website on your phone.
Well, there is an app that I heard called PD, which is an Apple Watch app, which does ChatGPT. You have to set up. I think you have to be paying the ChatGPT 4 for it. And I'm not sure if the app has a price tag or not, but there are some apps you have to be careful. I'm sure there's going to be tons of developers putting crappy ChatGPT apps just to make a quick buck. But there are legitimate apps in there. I'd say listen to podcasts and listen to people that you trust. And if they say, I use this app for ChatGPT and it works great, then okay, maybe, but just be careful.
Yeah, I'll just have a shortcut, like I mentioned before, couple of episodes before. But
I just laugh that everybody's getting the bandwagon for ChatGPT. It's
oh yeah. I mean, it is kind of the future, but
there's that.
You have to be very careful too.
There's that, but there's also Envision AI, like you mentioned, and Envision glasses have that integrated as well.
Yeah,
and Be My Eyes as well. So. So Envision AI is something else. For those of you wondering, I'm curious to know if they're going to put this in the app, the iOS app, or if it's just going to be in the glasses. But apparently you can use ChatGPT now in the Envision glasses, which is great, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because now it's more, instead of having your phone pointing things at documents and papers and whatnot, or recipes in front of you, you could just look down at it and it will take a screenshot and it will tell you what it is, and then you can just ask it and say, hey, does it have this ingredient in it, or does it have whatever you're looking for? You can ask it questions and it will actually respond back to you. So it's good.
It's good because it's easier having glasses on your face and being able to interact with an AI like that, or interact with your.
It's a lot easier to focus because where your eyes are and where you're looking, kind of. But it's a lot harder to align up the phone's camera to make sure things are in frame versus your eyes.
But you also, I think, with the nice thing about Envision glasses is you can also use Ira, and you can use other, like there's a lot of other functionalities you can add to the glasses, and it's starting to get really popular. Like, Google started something when they had the Google glasses many years ago. I don't think they have them anymore, but a lot of companies are starting to make their glasses, and that's one for me. Hey,
Google Bard, right?
If no, they have their own AI, which is called Google Bard.
Yeah.
But they came out with the Google Glasses many years ago. I don't think they have them anymore. But Envision AI, like they have the app, which is now free, which is great.
It was called Google Cardboard.
No, that I don't.
I think it was Cardboard.
No, Cardboard. Well, Cardboard was to do like AR type of thing. If you couldn't afford the glasses, I think you could do the Cardboard. I don't know what the Cardboard, if that's something different or the same. It might be the same. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't really use a lot of Android devices.
I know it had cameras on it, and people were like concerned.
No, the Cardboard was basically just literally a box of cardboard that you put your phone in, and you it was like a poor man's AR goggles. But it was that's from what I understood. That was the whole point. It was you got it. It was a cardboard that you would fold up into a box, and you have a spot in the front to put your phone, and then your phone's camera and the screen became your goggles. It's just the box would keep it dark, so you could look at the screen and be able to. Okay. That was the whole point of Google Cardboard, was just that. At least that's what I understood from it, anyways.
I see.
But yeah, so you have like Envision's doing that. That's great. Hey, Envision want to send us glasses. I'd love to be able to try them out. But they're not cheap.
I think I saw it once at CNIB, and I was pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, but they're expensive. They're not cheap, though. That's a problem.
They are.
I can't afford that. I'm too poor. But yeah, there's also like Be My Eyes, which is another one I'm looking for. I'm trying to see if I can get my hands on the beta, but so far no luck. But apparently it's coming. Apparently by end of May. It will be available for all people using Be My Eyes. You'll be able to use the virtual volunteer, which is I'm looking forward to trying. That'll be fun. But I can see a lot of good, especially for photos. Like there's a lot of photos I have. I'm on Facebook or whatever. I'm like, what is this? And I find the algorithms on Facebook are okay to help you figure out the pictures, and the screen recognition, the image recognition is okay. It does an okay job, but having ChatGPT be able to describe me in details everything in the photo, I'm like, that's going to be a lot more powerful than what we currently have. But I'm hoping to get it soon.
I want to talk about CarPlay for a second, because
as you mentioned this, I was like, on a car that nobody can ever afford, a Ferrari.
So a Ferrari, so if you ever want to like buy a Ferrari,
this is the uber rich blind people that we know.
So usually when you buy cars, they would have a odometer behind the wheel, like it's behind the wheel. So when you you have like 2-3 screens in front of you, and 2 screens, and it will display your gas and how much fuel you have versus how much speed you're going, right?
That's a dial. That's not a screen. It's just a simple little dial that has a physical
newer cars actually have screens now. And the Tesla also, like the Model S does have one over there, but the Model 3 only has one giant screen on the right hand side. It's a 15-inch screen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's huge. But this one, the Ferrari, is basically a rectangular screen. It's a touch screen. And that's where they display all the car information, including your odometer.
Oh my goodness.
So they don't display it underneath the wheel anymore, or behind the wheel, eye level. Now it's on the side. And the thing is, if you use, and it has a CarPlay, so as soon as you plug in your iPhone or use wireless CarPlay, that screen turns your phone is like, it turns on a CarPlay, and you have 9 icons with your, the phone app or whatever, the message.
So your odometer and everything disappears?
And your odometer is gone. Oh my God. You don't know how fast you're going.
Oh my goodness.
So if you're racing, I don't know why you would use Apple CarPlay when you're racing, but if you're on the streets, you won't know how fast you're going. So.
See, man, I never drove a car. I drove a car, a couple of cars, but not legally. But I've never gotten my driver's license. Unfortunately, I lost my vision before I ever got my license. It was a bit of a bummer. But I did, when I had some vision, some family members were nice enough to let me drive their
parking lots,
crappy cars in parking lots, or little small roads where there was not a lot of foot traffic. And I don't know, man. To me, I don't mind touchscreens for like entertainment or for GPS, but I would think that you'd want to have your crucial information about your engine, your RPM, your odometer, your gas, and everything, or you'd want to have all this critical stuff on a physical dial, not as something that could easily be hacked, or not necessarily hacked, but maybe a software update could screw it up where it's like, oh, it's like you're going 50 kilometers, but it's actually telling you you're going 20. So you're thinking, oh, I need to go faster, but you're actually going like, no, it's like, to me, at least a physical dial can't be hacked. And like maybe I could be wrong. Maybe those like physical dials can be wrong and give you a wrong speed, but I don't know. I don't think that would be something that would actually happen. I never actually had a car, so I don't know. I could be wrong too.
I mean, if there's a blockage of some place, like I know airplanes use pitot tubes to detect how fast the plane's going, and sometimes those can get they can freeze, and they will tell you the wrong information, and a lot of pilots had issues with that, but they know that they can clear out on its own. But anyway, but yeah, so if you have a Ferrari and you have a CarPlay, don't use it because it will take away your information.
Well, it depends. I'm guessing you have to buy a rather recent Ferrari in order to get this screen.
So Ferraris that support Apple CarPlay and only has one screen anyway. Yeah. Whatever model that is, because I don't know what the model is.
Since we're talking about cars, I would. There is a YouTube channel that anybody in the group that likes to listen, learn more about cars. Check out. There's a YouTube channel called, and people will know the name, Jay Leno's Garage. This was a comedian in the early, I think, 70s and 80s who took over the late show. There used to be a late show host called Johnny Carson. And when he retired, Jay Leno took his place. And he was a very funny comedian, but he is a fanatic of cars. This guy has a warehouse of like hundreds of cars. But he has a YouTube channel, again, called Jay Leno's Garage. And he actually has people come up and show off cars. Like I think a while back I saw it was like what the heck was it? Was it a Camaro or a Chevelle? I'm not too sure. I think it was a Camaro, I think. But it was like a drag racing version. I think it was like this SRT Diablo or something. And I'm like, I'm not a big car guy. I'm not like I couldn't fix an engine, but me when I like old muscle cars. Like give me a nice a '69 Camaro or a Mustang convertible, '67 Mustang. Old muscle cars to me that is like like I turn into Tim the Toolman to like I don't know because I guess maybe because I can't really drive. So when I see like a nice muscle car, that to me that's a classic. I got my nephew.
When you actually did that sound, it sounded like Scooby Doo. I don't know why.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm going crazy. But no, it's my cousin actually this summer. I think it was my dad's birthday or something. I don't remember what it was. My mom decided to spoil him, and my cousin knows somebody who has a replica of a General Lee, which is the I think it's I apologize. I think it's a Charger or a Challenger. I'm not too sure, but it's an old car that was part of the Dukes of Hazzard, an old TV show from the. Is it Challenger?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so. So he actually got a ride. My cousin was able to ask his friend. His friend lent him the car, and he gave my dad a joyride in the General Lee. And cool. When they actually came to my house and said, because I used to watch the show when I was a kid, and my dad's like, "Oh, Dan, come outside." I actually got a chance to just to touch. I'm like, "Oh, this is a nice car." It's a recognizable car. Like it's all orange with a blue and white 01 on the side. And
I love those really old muscle cars. They look pretty cool.
Yeah, to me, like my nephew Sam, I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but he's big on cars. He loves cars, but he's like, "Oh, dude, all these like McLarens." I'm like, "Dude, give me a muscle car. I don't care about these super uber sports cars, which are like $20 million and go from 0 to 60 in like 1 second. Like, I don't care about that. Give me a muscle. Like, I want to be able to drive a car and I want to feel the engine. Less electronics, less chances for things to break. And if something does break, it costs pennies to repair compared to thousands. Like, a sensor's broken. Well, you have to pay $10,000 to replace the sensor. Going back to, definitely if you like cars, check out Jay Leno's Garage. I'm subscribed to. I love listening to they had an old car which had Jeff Dunham, a very famous comedian who does ventriloquism. You'll know him best for having Peanut, Walter, Jose Jalapeno in a stick, and he's got I think he's got Ahmed, the dead terrorist, hilarious character. But he had an old car that he bought, and he was on Jay Leno's Garage. There was another car that he had. It literally was powered by a turbine engine. And I was like, whoa, it's like an old car from the 50s or something. But yeah, if you like cars, definitely check it out. He had, I think, Cadillac came to show off their new SUV. They had another one. I think it was a Challenger, Challenger or a Charger SRT Demon, I think was the dragster that I saw the other day. But it looked like a beat. I'm like, oh, man. Sorry. But yeah, if you like cars, definitely check it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think we have anything else.
I was looking at it. Yeah, we covered everything.
That's
and if
great.
you have any questions or feedback, you can contact us at ibitespodcast@gmail.com, or you can send a voicemail at 317-934-4334, or you can take a look at us or follow us, so to say.
Well, we have our website. You can go to www.ibites.ca, which hopefully we will work on it eventually. Me and you. Then you can check us on Twitter at iBites Podcast, and you can find us at iBites on YouTube. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to add? Or
no, I think that we covered everything. That was a good episode.
Right. Well, all right. If you guys ever have questions or comments, or you just want to say hi, feel free to reach us out in the our contact info there. And we'll catch you next month.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.